All right, I want to just go over two of the processes again on how to use a polymer clay. First process we're going to talk about is making a Skinner blend. So you guys are going to have the luxury of having a pasta machine in class. So what you're going to do is you can just kind of flatten out the clay a little bit here, and then you're going to check that this is on one of the wider settings. So I'm going to leave it at that setting. You're going to set it in the pasta machine, and then you're going to feed it through, and then that's going to give you like a nice sheet. What you can do is you can kind of fold it together and make your sheet a little wider. Okay, so I have a nice thin sheet of yellow. I'm going to take some red and do the same thing. Okay, one more time. Okay, now, okay, what I want to do is I'm going to use a sharp knife. I'm going to just try and make this into a square. Not square, more just trying to straighten up the edges a little bit. I'll use this section right here. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to have these two pieces kind of the same size. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these into triangles by slicing through the edge here. I'm going to take these apart. And I'm going to make my Skinner blend, I'm going to fit these two triangles diagonally like that. So now I have a nice rectangle of color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this then through the pasta machine again. So I'm going to feed it through this way. I'm going to make this a little thinner. Okay. And with each pass, I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it in half. And you have to make sure you're always folding it the same way. Always folding it the same way. Okay, I'm folding it the same way, folding it in half. And as I'm going to go, as I go through this more and more, what's going to happen is my clay is starting to blend together. So you can start to see that my yellow, I'm starting to get like a nice blend in the middle. Gotta make sure there's no air pockets. I see a couple of air pockets in here. Okay, I'm going to keep folding it in half. I'm going to keep folding it in half, and as I go, I should get a nice gradient. So you can start to see I'm starting to get a nice fade between those colors. This is the back. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more passes. Okay, so there's my nice gradient. Okay, and what I can do now, I can kind of straighten this out. This end looks pretty good. What I can do is, I think I want to have a little bit more yellow in my roll. So I'm just going to take a little bit more yellow here. I'm going to measure. So I want to have a little bit more yellow to my gradients. What I can do is I'm going to make a roll. So we talked about the jelly roll cane before. So I can take my one of my pieces here, and I'm going to roll it up. Okay, so I'm going to make a little roll. Okay. This shouldn't really, it's not going to look like a jelly roll per se because it's just one solid color, but now I'm going to take this roll of yellow, put it at the end here of my gradient, and I'm going to roll it. And I want to be careful, make sure there's no air bubbles as I'm rolling it. Okay, I'm trying to have a nice even pressure as I'm rolling it. Okay, I'm going to seal that edge. I'm going to press it to kind of roll everything together. Okay, now what I can do is I'm going to cut my little ends off that are a little crazy. But now you can see I have that nice kind of blend from yellow, and then there's orange in there all the way to red. So now I just made this nice little cane here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this next one too, and then we're going to make two canes, and then we're going to make two bullseye canes, and then we're going to start to build it together to make a more complex cane. So that was making the Skinner blend, and now I took that Skinner blend, I made it into like a jelly roll cane, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another jelly roll cane. I'm going to start to piece these together to make a more complex cane. Okay, so I just did my second thing, but you see this is a nice kind of gradient. Again, I'm going to kind of square it up a little bit. A little bit. And now this one I added a little bit of extra yellow in the beginning of it, so I have a nice kind of yellow center here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this up. Okay, roll it up, kind of seal it up, roll it a little bit more. Just check the sides a little. Okay, cut my end. You can see there. Okay. Okay. Now, I have my two canes here, and what I can do is I can reduce these a little bit more. Reduce these a little more. Okay, this one a little bit thinner. Okay, so I have these about the same size. Okay, and I'm going to cut these in half again. Okay, take these, kind of square up the ends, fix the ends a little bit. Okay, and now what I can do is I can take these 4 and place them together. Okay, and then that'll make a more complex cane, or maybe I'll do something else with them. Maybe I'll make start thinking about a flower. So what I can do is maybe I want to have something in the center that my pieces can go around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up this piece of yellow that I have from before to make like a little cane. And again, the jelly roll is that spiral kind of technique, but since I'm just using it with one color, it's just going to help me to make a log of clay. Okay, it's made a nice log of clay. Now maybe I can do kind of a pattern with these pieces if I have all the same size. Okay. So maybe I'll start to build. Maybe I'll build 1, 2, 3, and then up here I'll do 1, 2, 3, and then I need some more yellow. So maybe I'll take all these yellow scraps together, make a log. One more. Okay. Maybe I'll put this piece here, up here, 1. I'll put this here, 1. And maybe I'll put this one down here, 2. So you can kind of see that I'm trying to start to build this together to be a little bit more complex. And then maybe, so I have like kind of 2 flowers almost, a little different. But you're really just trying to build little pieces at a time. So maybe I'll fill in the rest of my spots with some red. So maybe I'll take some red. Some more red. Maybe with this, make a log. Or I could build another Skinner blend and then make like an X pattern. So I'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe I'll do that. So I'm gonna need to make another Skinner blend log right now. All right, so I just finished making another Skinner blend. What I did is I just took it and I added it to my little box here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and start to get these pieces to come together. And so I'm trying to keep that square shape. I'm trying to blend them. And then as I'm doing this, I'm trying to elongate my cane. Just kind of pinching a little at a time. a little at a time. Okay, get the ends. So you can see I'm getting it to be a little longer. And now, if I cut, I have a nice like checkerboard kind of a piece. Okay? And now I can use that and put these together, put a couple of them together to build. I'm going to cut from this side. I think this side might be better. Okay, there you go. Nice little checkerboard. And so now what I can do is I can take these checkerboard pieces and I can, stack them together. And make a more complex picture. Okay, so that's one way. That's a way of making a cane. But you guys could see how I just took a very simple log like this, and then by like stacking it together with other pieces, then I was able to make something more complex like this checkerboard. So what I could do is I could take this checkerboard and I could, use it to make my pendant. I could take my tin foil and make a piece, and then I can cover it with my cane design that I just made. Okay, and also these are all the end pieces from my piece, from my cane. What I could do is I could take those pieces, and they're not as accurate, but I can use those too. Just kind of piece them together around my object from making a pendant, around my beads. Kind of gives me a little extra, variety, but it's still all the same because it's all from the same cane. So just a couple ideas. So that was again making a Skinner blend, then taking that Skinner blend and making it into a jelly roll. Then I took that jelly roll, I lengthened it out, cut it into pieces, stacked it with some regular colored clay. I made a nice square cane, and then I'm taking pieces of that cane, making slices, and then I can build a sheet that I could use for then to put on my pendant.